All right. I think I'm live now. Sorry if you didn't see me earlier. I think I was having a glitch there. So, anyway, what's up, CRT community? Let's help each other. I'm glad that you're here. All right. Hey, Stephen, welcome in. 327. Yeah, I think I remember you from last time. Did you have a birthday recently? Maybe you did, Stephen. I hope you did. And if you did, happy birthday, if that's birthday numbers. Anyway, welcome in. So I want to talk about two different topics before we go into the Q&A. Yes, I have never done a live stream this late before, and I know I'm getting it in later than I normally do. But hey, at least I'm getting it in. Y'all can hear me, yes or no? Am I being heard okay? If you're hearing me, please just let me know because I don't want to like give all my stuff here. And awesome, great. What's up, Julian? All right. Hey, Bryce Pennington, come on in. All right, Bryce, I'm glad you can hear me. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So, what I've been noticing is that I've been getting a lot of questions recently about what syringes, like what size syringes I use, and am I still doing my deltoid injection and things like that. So, I went ahead and brought my syringes in that I use. So, currently, I'm using like an insulin type syringe that I use whenever I do my deltoid injection. And that's what I'm doing right now is I'm still doing deltoids and it's working well for me for the most part. We're going to talk about what I mean by that for the most part here in just a second. But these are what I'm using for my deltoid. And this was the one that I used to be using for my glute injection. I want to talk about what sizes I use in both of those because I keep getting questions about that. However, before I get into that, I've got to mention these guys, and I want to mention these guys. Let's Get Checked helps me tremendously because they also help you tremendously in that you can get an at-home testosterone testing kit through them. Try lgc.com/Cohen. Basically, they send it right to your house. You prick your finger, you send the blood sample to them, and you get the results back right on your phone. And it's really convenient. I've checked my testosterone with them a few different times, and I'm really pleased. They sponsor the channel. They help me, so they help you. They help us. And so they are worthy of your business. I've been really pleased with them, and I think you're going to get good results if you use them as well. So thank you. Let's Get Checked for sponsoring this video. What size syringes do I use? Well, when it comes to my deltoid injection, I do the 28 gauge half inch. That's what I use for my deltoids, and that's been working just fine for me. Now, I'm a lean guy, okay? So not a lot of extra fluff there on my shoulders, right? So I can use a half an inch. If you have a little bit more extra insulation on your shoulders, you might want to go with a bit longer needle, which means you're going to probably have a fatter gauge, which means the number is going to go down. So you might need a bit longer needle for your deltoid injection if you're not quite as lean as I am, because I don't have much fluff to go through. Now, what I was using whenever I was doing glute injections was this one, and it's probably not going to focus on it. Yep, there it goes. 23 gauge by 1 inch. You can see that there, right? 23 gauge by 1 inch was what I was using when I was doing glute injections. So that's a long needle, but guess what? It's got to go through some insulation to get there, doesn't it? So that's what I've been using. That's what I've used in the past for my injections. And now I want to also mention this because guess what? Not all your injections are going to go that great, are they? Have you had some injections go less than good? Well, I have. And guess what? I had just a few go less than good just recently. And I thought, I should probably mention this in the video. I should probably talk about this because guess what? Not all your injections are going to go perfect. And guys, if you're in here and you've gotten any benefit from this channel at all, hit the like button on your way in, please. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, Julian Brown. Yeah, we've all had a few injections not go the way we wanted, right? Well, guess what? That's just going to happen. You need to know that. And you don't need to let that one or two bad injections taint the rest of your experience. Okay. Because I've injected, gosh, probably, I mean, it's in the hundreds now, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. How many Have I had go less than great? Well, probably only about 10. And what do I mean by bad injections? Okay, there's a little more pain than you're used to having. Um, there's a little more discomfort upon injection, like as you're pressing the testosterone in, it just feels like, this is odd. This doesn't feel like it's supposed to feel. That's what I mean. Or maybe the next day you have a lot more soreness than you normally have. That's what I mean when I say like a bad injection. So, guys, those are going to happen from time to time. And what I want to try to encourage you is with this: don't let that ruin your TRT experience. Okay. You're going to have some bad ones every so often. And guess what? You're going to keep going. And for the most part, everything's going to be fine. It's kind of like when you're having like a great day and everything's going good. And then maybe one person says something to you that just really bums you out, really hurts your feelings. And then guess what? It sort of like ruins the rest of your day, right? And it was just one thing that one person said, and you kind of like let it ruin everything, and you kind of like let it disqualify everything else that's ever happened to you that day, or maybe even that week, right? So don't let your injections do that. That's what I want to try to encourage you with. We sort of have one bad injection and then we freak out like, should I keep doing this? Should I keep going on and with this in my life at all? Yes, you should. Okay. You're going to have some bad ones every so often. And guess what? You're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So last week or 2 weeks ago, I had two deltoid injections go bad in a row. Um, I injected, I think I was in this arm, and I've been having good success in this arm lately. So I just kept with that one. And so I injected and it felt really strange. And so I aborted mission and I moved it just like a little bit over, and then I tried again, and then it still felt weird. So I pulled it out and I tried again, and it still felt weird. Like I was hitting veins or something. I don't know, but I was having a lot more pain than normal, and it wasn't just pricking the skin pain. That's not what I mean. I mean like once I was in the muscle, I was thinking it was just feeling like this is this is not normal. So then I tried on this arm and I was having weirdness over there too. And so finally I just found a spot that was okay and just went with it. And I was like kind of bummed because I thought, well, I don't like that. And then the next time it was something similar and I was bummed again. And I thought, I should not be bummed about this. Think of how many good injections I've had. Don't let this taint my whole experience. And I thought, I need to bring that up in my next video. So, guys, you're going to have a bad one every so often, all right? And don't let it ruin the whole experience. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to get over it. All right. Let's do some Q&A. Fitness science. Hey, man. Well, thank you for those compliments. I've been wondering where you've been. I haven't checked in a few weeks, though, your channel, but I did notice that there was a big lapse there. And then I also emailed you and didn't hear anything. So I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you're here. You're number 13. What do you win, Thomas? I don't have any prizes, but you win a shout out. Thomas is number 13. Hit a like on the way in, guys, if you're getting any benefit from this or if you've gotten any benefit from the channel. Also, please don't forget, if you're wondering if your testosterone is low and you want to check it from home, from the privacy of your own home, in a package that's discreet when it comes to your house, it doesn't say low testosterone testing kit, then try Let's Get Checked. They're the sponsors of this video. You can go to trylgc.com/Cohen, Cohen. That's my name. After this video is over, after the live, that link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. So after an injection, what's the amount of time you should wait to get tested? All right, Kenny R., that's a great question. Testosterone cypionate peaks in your system 48 hours after you inject. All right. So if you want to get the maximum, if you're trying to get the maximum height of like what's the maximum amount my testosterone level is going to, then about 48 hours later, check your T level if you want to see the absolute highest it is. If you want to see the absolute, like, I guess, amount that it plunges down to before you inject again, then of course test your testosterone right before you're supposed to inject again, and then you'll know just how low it's going before you then inject again. And Remember, we want to stay in the happy medium. Like, pretend the top of my screen is like the acceptable, good number of testosterone, and the bottom of my screen is like the acceptable low number. Like, if you go below this screen, then you're low T. And if you go above the screen, then you're like way too high testosterone. When we inject, we want to keep our level like floating right in this happy zone, don't we? So when you inject, you want it to go right about here. And then when it's time to inject again, you kind of want to keep it somewhere in the middle. That's what I try to do. That's why I inject twice a week, because I want to try to keep it in the middle, not get these highs and these lows. And that's what I was experiencing when I first started, because I was only injecting every 2 weeks. But anyway, um, fitness science. All right, no problem. Yep. Well, I'm glad you're good, man. I'm just happy you're good. That's all. So I'm happy. Kenny R, I hope that answered your question. If it didn't, I welcome a follow-up question from you, Kenny. So no problem. But after this is from Julian Brown, but after serum concentration is maxed at week 5 to 6 and 48th post injection, right? Maybe you're having a conversation with someone else in the chat, Julian, that I'm not aware of. Let me see. For the 48th post injection, I'm not sure. One second. Let me get a phone call. 1 second. Let me decline that. Whoops. Of course, he doesn't know that I'm live. Anyway, all right. Maybe you re-ask your question, Julian, for me. I'm not understanding there. Anyway, guys, if you just hopped in, I shared earlier about what size needles I use. I use, when it comes to my deltoid injection, 28 gauge by 1 inch. Back when I was doing glute injections, I was using this harpoon, which was a 23 gauge by 1 inch right there, 23 gauge by 1 inch. And yes, it is a straight up harpoon. Look how long that thing is. Back when I started going to these, I was like, man, I hardly have to push these things in at all. It's just like, bloop, and then it's in. This thing was like, it seemed like it went in forever. So long. Anyway, all right. All right, Kenny, good deal. I'm glad that was helpful. You guys can fire away and ask anything that you'd like. Okay, gotcha. All right, Vlad, how much do you pin each time? I just started 40 units 2 times a week. All right, cool. So I inject about also about 45 milligrams each time I inject as well, because I'm currently right now I'm getting about 90 milligrams of testosterone cypionate per week. All right, everybody hearing that? Roughly 90 milligrams of testosterone cypionate per week that I break up into 2 injections, about 45 milligrams on Monday and about 45 milligrams on Thursday. That's when I inject. Actually, after this live stream, when I go home, I'll be injecting my Thursday injection this evening. So that's what I do, Vlad, and sounds like we're about the same thing. Now, if by 40 units, if by units you mean milligrams, which I'm guessing you probably do. So hope that helps you. That's what I inject, and it's working good for me now. So I stick with it. Do you have sleep apnea? That's what Farm 30 asks. I don't, and praise God, I don't. I've always slept pretty well. I've really not had a lot of sleep problems in my life. I've always slept pretty good. Even back when I had low T, it didn't really affect my sleep any that I could see. So I would say what's affected my sleep most in my adult life is having children. That's affected my sleep the most. I've gotten less ever since we started having children. And then once I went to seminary and my workload was so heavy, I learned back in my 20s I could actually survive on 6 hours of sleep every night. I never had to do that prior to that point because I didn't have children and I wasn't working on a master's yet and things like that. But once we started having children and started working on my master's, I realized that I could actually survive on 6 hours of sleep. And but now that was in my 20s. But now that I'm 43, just had a birthday a few days ago, by the way. Yeah, 6 hours of sleep doesn't cut it for me anymore. I need a bit more than that. So, I just never struggle with any sleep problems. I've heard that some people with low testosterone do. And so that's unfortunate and I hate that. But anyway, I've never had that. I'm very thankful for that. Ventrogluteal injections. Thoughts? Ventrogluteal injections. Well, I don't know what those are. So let me Google it real quick because I'm just not sure what those even are. All right, let's see. Ventrogluteal is the preferred injection site for adults and children over 7 months. The muscle that is injected into at the side of the is at the site is the gluteus. So it's the glute. So oh, I see. Oh, it's like the upper sort of glute, like the upper front side, sort of. Huh. Oh, that would make me nervous because oh yeah, I see now. Okay. So basically what I'm getting is all right. So what I saw on that video is it looks like it's a glute, like an injection, like right around here instead of back here in your like upper glute area where I normally inject. It looks like it's like an injection like around here somewhere, like upper glute. I think that's what I'm seeing. That would make me nervous because oh, I'd just be afraid. It just looks like it's a little more precise, like it's a smaller window. I don't know. Maybe I've got that wrong. If I got that wrong, let me know. But Stephen, if you think you want to try to inject there, then go for it. I say just try it and see what happens. Do your homework. But I think it's kind of important for us to experiment sometimes with different injections sites to see what works best for us. Because I was doing glute for like 2 years, and then I watched videos, and it was a pain. I mean, obviously it hurt, but I don't mean like that. I mean like it was kind of annoying because I had to like keep reaching back and all this stuff. Plus, I was tired of these syringes because they leave a little bit right there in the tip, don't they? Like a few drips, and I was having to put those back in. I've got videos about how I would put those drips back in my syringe. I mean, back in my vial. And yes, people freaked out about that. That I would use a syringe that I just had in my body, poke it back in my vial. People freaked out. I know. People freaked out about that. But guess what? I never had any problems with it, and it never seemed to me like it tainted the vial in any way. So I was getting tired of putting those extra drips back in because I knew I was wasting some if I didn't do that. So now that I use these more like insulin type syringes, I don't get that waste. And so it was good for me to experiment with different types of injections because then I found one that I preferred better and I had less waste on. So Stephen, I mean, if you want to try it, I say go for it. And Stephen says that it's the injection area between your backside and your thigh, kind of. It's that area. Farm 30. I have 3 kids under 7. Hey, we were there too at one point. I feel your pain. I have 5 children, and their ages range from the age of 17 to the age of 8. And so, yeah, we were there. We had 3 children, and no, it seems like we almost always had 2 children in diapers for like a long time, and then it would go to 1 child, and then we had have another baby. So, anyway, yep, 5 children. So I feel your pain, Farm 30. All right, Daryl Hill, my doctor has me injecting with a 22 gauge needle. Seems large to me. Your thoughts? That is large. That's larger than I've ever used. This is a 23, and I felt like that was like a harpoon, but I got used to it. And so you don't have to. Now, of course, you need to follow your doctor's prescription as far as how much you're supposed to inject. But he's not really the boss of what needles you have to buy. You can use different kind of needles, and as long as you're getting it into your muscle. So you can experiment with that. You're not bound to what size needle he says, but I would definitely follow his advice for how much you're supposed to be putting in. So, yeah. Let me see. Steven, can't find the spot, so I'm afraid to pin there. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. You you want to make sure you're getting it. All right. Yes, I've also tried sub Q. Not a fan either. Travis Jones, what's going on? How are you? I've been watching some of your videos with you and your son's arm wrestling and stuff. Since they're getting bigger, they're growing up, Travis, and it's interesting. I noticed that you don't cut them any slack when you're arm wrestling with them. You don't let them win. Like you actually try to beat your sons. I guess that's how you train them up, right? I guess that's why they're doing competitions. So anyway, all right, guys, cool. Hit the like button on the way in if you haven't done that yet, and I would appreciate that. I hope you're getting some benefit from this live stream and from the channel in general. Yes, I've been out of pocket for a little while. I've got a lot of things going on lately, guys. Okay, and just some stuff. You guys know I'm a pastor as well, and so just some stuff going on. Some of it's good, and some of it's kind of less good. But all in all, things are fine. Just got a lot going on right now, so just not banging out the videos as much as I used to, and I get that. And I'm sure I'll get back into that soon. And but for now, these live streams work better for me because I can just jump on, and there's less editing, and still be there for you guys too. Answer some of your questions. I'm glad the channel helps you. I really am glad. I made it for guys just like us because guess what? When I started, there was just not a ton out there. There was some, but it seemed like most of them were sort of like just like muscle dudes, right? And I just kind of wanted a channel for normal people, just the normal guy who's trying to get back to feeling normal once again. And so I thought, well, let me make a channel. But also, I wanted to make this channel because I knew that there's guys out there that were struggling like I was struggling. I mean, I felt like I was going crazy at one point. I was thinking, gosh, I'm just going nuts. My head is not right. And so then once I figured out that it was just low testosterone, I thought I've got to make videos just helping the average guy like me that's out there that thinks he's going nuts, that thinks he maybe needs to get on like antidepressants even or something like that when it might just be low testosterone. That's all it is. And so I'm glad that it's helped you guys so much. Travis, I'm glad I've helped you, my friend. I really, really am. And so guys, Travis has his own YouTube channel, Travis Jones. And then also the gentleman who was in here earlier, Fitness Science. He also has his own channel too. So I recommend that you guys go check them out. Both channels, of course, have their own flavor. All of our channels have our own flavor. So just check it out and see if it's good for you. Stephen, you've been going through a rough patch. I think if my levels weren't as good as they are right now, I'd probably be going crazy. Yeah, it helps me deal with things better. Yes, it absolutely does. Your hormones, oh my word, what I learned is that your hormones affect so very much about you and your daily life and just about your well-being as a human. It's so much more than muscle building. It's so much more even than energy. It's just about like well-being in your brain too. It's really, the Lord has made our bodies in an incredible way. And when just a few little things get out of whack, it can really, send everything else spiraling down. And so when everything's balanced out how it's supposed to, then boy, it just works so much better, doesn't it? And so that's why I think it's very, very important that we get our testosterone checked, guys. And if you've not checked your testosterone yet, then you can check it from home, even with one of these kits. I'm telling you, this is a really easy, convenient way to check it if you're just wondering if it's low at all, or go to your doctor. But this isn't a good way to do it at home. And again, after this live stream's over, in the description and in the pinned comment, you'll see the link to get to one of these at-home testing kits, and a discount code of Cohen20 will get you 20% off. All right, what else we got here? Anything else? You guys can ask anything you want. It doesn't even have to be testosterone related. It can be anything. Again, 28 gauge at 1/2 inch is what I use now for my deltoid injections. And that's going good. And like I told you though, when it doesn't go good, don't let it ruin your life. You're just going to have a few injections every so often that just aren't awesome. And you're going to keep on living and keep on going. And you're going to make it. Anything else, guys? Well, I am so glad that you guys have stopped in this evening. Am I running? Okay, no, I'm not running an AI at all. An aromatase inhibitor is the question that just came up. I do not use one just because I don't need one. And so if I was injecting more so that my testosterone was higher, then what it would do is once it gets above normal, what your body needs, your body will start to aromatase it and turn it over into estrogen. And so to keep that from happening, you take an AI to keep it from aromatizing the extra testosterone over to estrogen. Well, just like I just said extra testosterone, didn't I? Well, guess what? If you don't have extra testosterone, then you don't need the AI. And so, excuse me, what I found was the happy amount that I can inject to keep my level just like right where it needs to be, kind of in these upper areas where my body's happy. And so if I don't need to take an AI, I don't want to take an AI because I'm already having to inject a synthetic drug into my body, testosterone, and I don't want to inject so much of that that I then need another synthetic drug because I'm injecting too much of that. And also that's just more money out of my pocket, guys. So um, if I don't have to have it, then I don't want. So all right. Let me see. I know it's not on topic, but do you test other levels too? So my doctor will also test my estrogen from time to time, but that's really all I check. And me personally, is just my testosterone level and my estrogen level. Like every other time, he'll check one. Like when I go in, my doctor will check my T level, and then he'll also check my estrogen level the other time I go in. And so that's as far as I know, that's all he's checking when I go in. You know, he may be checking other stuff. He just doesn't tell me about it, and I'm not really concerned about it as long as everything's going fine. So I know some people really like to know all this like FH and free testosterone and total test. See, he always checks total testosterone. Some people like to know their free testosterone, and it is important to know those things, I believe. But as long as I feel good, I don't know. I guess I'm just like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So as long as I'm injecting what I'm supposed to inject and I feel good, then I'm like, hey, why do I want to dig into other stuff? That's just me. I guess I just try to keep things simple. That's just me. All right. Worried about estradiol. Yeah, I understand. Well, then I think you should check your estrogen level if you're worried about it. And by the way, Let's Get Checked offers a kit that will check your estrogen as well. Or you can get your doctor to check it. So in that link, trylgc.com/Cohen, Cohen, you'll see that kit that also will let you check your estrogen. So let's see. My first endocrinologist gave me 0.5 tab every third day. My new endo doesn't think it's needed. 0.5 tab, that's feared none but one. Now by tab, what do you mean by tab? If you don't mind, I'm just kind of wondering. Exactly. I don't want to assume I know what you mean and then get it wrong. Um, when you first started TRT, did you experience the so-called honeymoon period? If by that you mean like everything seemed awesome, and then after that honeymoon period, kind of things went back to like normal. If that's what you mean by honeymoon period, no, I didn't experience that. How it worked with me when I first started injecting TRT, about a week later, I started to get my energy back. Then about 2 weeks after that, I started to get my like motivation back, like just motivation to want to do life again. And then about 2 weeks after that, I got my libido started coming back some. And then about 2 weeks after that, I forget. Like basically, the point is this: about every 2 weeks, I was seeing things just coming back and starting to feel normal and starting to feel good again. So I didn't have like a period where it was like, "Yay, this is great," and then, "Oh, I feel bad again." I didn't have that, and thank God for that. Is that what you're going through now, Vlad? Like, have you felt like when you first started, you were great, and then now you don't feel so good? Let me know. Um, let's see. My total T and free T actually increased at 90 milligrams to 100 milligrams. E2 is in range. Okay, good deal. Let's see. Exodus says I was 120 to 140 milligrams per week before my A2 was insanely high. Well, look, I'm glad you dialed it back. I think that's the way to Exodus. Thanks for saying that. I think um, I think that's the way to handle high estrogen is just back off on how much testosterone you're injecting because then that fixes it, right? Now, what a lot of guys want to do, and what a lot of especially if you go to our TRT clinic, what they want to do is just give you a ton of testosterone. Because let's be honest, sometimes you just feel really good and a lot of energy, and you're able to build muscle really easily when you have a lot of testosterone in your system, right? Well, guess what? Men get to where they like that. I mean, have you seen these actors that are in their like 50s and 60s and they're like shredded, massive muscles? Guess what? That ain't natural. Okay? That ain't natural at all. And so, you know what's going on? They're on big amounts of TRT. I promise you that they are. And now, granted, I know they're working hard too and eating right. You don't get big muscles and shredded just by injecting. You got to work really hard. So they're working hard, but I promise you, they're also taking an estrogen blocker. So if you just back off and get like a happy amount, you're right, Exodus. Your estrogen won't be so high. Very good. Let's see. Just started ABT a week ago, so just starting to kick in. Oh, about a week ago. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't know all the shortcuts and and texting. Sort of feel it, but okay. So if you've only started about a week ago, Vlad, yeah, just give it some time. Just give it some time. It's just almost like with anything. I mean, who knows how long your testosterone's been low, right? So your body is now going to have to start adjusting to having proper amounts of testosterone in it again. And so just just give it some time. But you know what? I'm happy for you because you're going to start to really see some changes every like week or 2 weeks. You're going to see parts about you improving, especially if you start, especially if you're eating healthy. I'm not saying you got to go like vegan or anything, but I mean, you just, back off the sugars and back off the carbs a little bit. And you're going to start feeling better because of that too. And make sure you're taking good vitamins too. That's like the combo, like TRT, good diet, and vitamins, well, and exercise. That's like the boom, 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 boom. That's like the combo. I mean, you're going to feel great. So, all right. Yes, you're right. When your this is Julian. When your estrogen is high, you will probably notice some puffiness in your chest, some puffiness, and some extra sensitivity. So maybe talk to your doctor, or maybe just go ahead and back yourself off from 120 milligrams a week. I guess that's what you're at. Maybe back it down to just like 100, and just give that about a month, and see if you're still feeling good at only 100 milligrams, and that'll probably bring your estrogen down a little bit too. Um, you've said it so many times on this channel. Yes, I know. I know. I get, but here's the thing, Exodus. I have to treat every question as if it's like the first time I've ever heard it. And so I get some of the same questions over and over and over and over again. But you know what? I have to remind myself, hey, listen, you made this channel to help people. And it's not like everybody watches all my videos. I think some people just watch one video, maybe two at the most, and that's all they watch. But I've made like 60 something videos. So, yep, I know. I have to just, I'm here to be a good teacher, and I just want to treat every question as if it's like the first time I've ever heard it. So, let's see. John, you said, how did you find out you needed to split your injection? Okay, great question. So when I was injecting once every 2 weeks, because that's what my doctor started me on, once every 2 weeks. Okay, so he had me injecting like a massive amount, like 200 milligrams, I think. And then 2 weeks later, I'd do it again. So what happened was I would inject that, boom. And of course, those first couple days, man, I felt awesome, awesome, awesome. But then after 2 weeks, it's going down, down, down. Then about 2 or 3 days before I was supposed to inject again, man, I was like an emotional roller coaster. I was like, all over the place. And it was because my testosterone had started dipping down below where it was supposed to. And then I would inject again and it would get really high and then down, down, down. So I made a video about that. And a whole bunch of people in the comments were like, whoa, whoa, you need to split it, man. You need to split that in half and inject every week. So I did that, and voila, problem was gone. It kept it in that happy range for me a bit better. And that worked for honestly probably like a year and a half. And then I started noticing some of the symptoms that I was having that I had back when I first started. Um, well, when I knew I needed to start TRT, some of those symptoms were sort of starting to come back again, just like kind of grumpiness and all this stuff. So I could tell something was off. So I said, well, let me split my dose yet again and inject twice a week and see if that helps. And I did that. And then that helped. And that was about a year and a half ago. And so that's where I still am. Still injecting twice a week now, which I had split it. And I inject about 45 milligrams each time. 45 milligrams on Monday and 45 on Thursday, which I'll go home after this and inject that 45 this evening. So that's how I learned, is just my emotions were getting weird, and those negative symptoms were starting to come back again. Let's see. Val says TRT was one of the best decisions. Went from someone who barely can walk a mile, avoids hikes, and having old people asking me why I act like an old man, to going to Everest Base Camp 3 weeks ago. Wow, Val, getting it done. Good job. D Hunt 75.99. Did you notice better motivation right away after starting? It took about a month ish or so, to get my motivation back. I would say energy came back kind of quickly, but just that oomph to want to do life again took about a month. Yep, to get it back. Let's see. You're a man of patience and integrity. I've seen your sermons once you linked me in a comment. The Lord is great. Man, thanks for watching. I mean, thanks for watching and slash listening to the sermons. I hope those help you, because of course, I mean, I made this channel to help you guys physically, but these bodies are going downhill every day and no one gets off the planet alive. So I want to help us all spiritually as well. So CF Gadsden, GADSDEN.org is our church's website, and you can find my sermons there if you'd like. Travis Jones, do you think we are in the end of times here, my man? Like Revelation says, food prices skyrocketing, gas and all. What's your pastoral opinion? I've seen a ton of your videos. Are we in the end times? Well, biblically, we've been in the end times for a very long time, because in the book of Acts, Peter is preaching, and he talks about it being like the last days. And so we've been in them for quite a long time. Now, here's the thing. Think about the Depression, though, here in America. That was a lot worse than what we're going through now. And people thought, oh, Jesus must be right around the corner. And but here we are decades after that. Also, think about the time where the plague went through, much worse than what we're going through now. Also, think about even before America as a country was around, because this is kind of a young country. We're only about 300 something years old as far as countries go. It's not, that's not very old for a country. I mean, I forget exactly how old our country is, but about 300 years old. Think about other countries that have gone through things like the Black Death over in Europe and things like that. So we need to live as if Jesus is coming back at any moment, because he said he's going to come like a thief in the night, meaning when you least expect it. No one expects the thief to break in. Like when he does, right? Everyone's always taken off guard when someone breaks in, right? We always have to be ready for his coming. And so that's how I would answer that, Travis, is he could come back at any moment because he says he could. And so that's why we have to be ready. And that's why it's so important that we make sure that our sins are forgiven, because we will all stand before the judgment seat of God, even whether you believe that or not. Truth isn't true just because you believe it. Truth is true even if you don't believe it. It's still the truth. And so I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you that Jesus Christ is the one who took the punishment for your sins. See, Jesus perfectly kept the law that we couldn't keep. We're all sinners, me especially. Oh my goodness. I've broken so many of God's commands, but Jesus Christ never did. The Bible says that he was tempted in every way that we are, yet without sin. And he died as if he was a sinner, though. So he died to take the punishment that we deserve. And he was buried and shed his blood, died, really died. And he rose again on the third day, proving that the price was paid, proving that the Father was pleased with the payment that the Son made on behalf of sinners. And that's how we can be saved, repenting and turning from our sins and putting our faith and trust in him. That's how we're made right with God. That's how we're reconciled with God, is only through Jesus Christ. And I know somebody's going to be saying, boy, he's getting a little preachy. Well, I'm a preacher. So, anything else, guys? Okay, so John said, are you kidding me right now? Julian, thank you very much for that super chat. Are you kidding me? Thank you so much. Oh my word. I really, really appreciate that. Oh my gosh, that is crazy generous of you. Thank you so, so much. Oh gosh, let me get back to what John was asking. So John asked, was that splitting on your doctor's say so? No, he actually didn't recommend that splitting. That was just me experimenting with it and it worked. Now I did mention to him later on, John, that I did split and that it was working for me. And he was like, okay, that's fine. If that works for you, that's fine. So he wasn't against it. He didn't say, oh no, it can only be injected every 2 weeks or else it's going to blow up in your body. He didn't do that. So, gosh, Julian, thank you so much. Seriously. Gosh, wow. That is so generous. Thanks so much for that, Julian. No, thanks, Travis. You rock, man. I appreciate that, dude. You guys are so generous and so kind. I just really appreciate you. Appreciated you anyway, okay, even without the financial gifts. But you just need to know that I'm very grateful. I'm just very, very grateful. God bless you guys so much. If you haven't hit the like button on the way in, guys, let's go ahead and do that. If you guys had a like button on the comments, I would have hit those. Here, I'm gonna put a comment in with a thumbs up. That's for you guys right there. I like you guys. All right. Anything else that anybody's got? Just a burning question that you need to ask. I've appreciated this time with you guys. I hope it's been helpful for some of you or all of you. I'm here for you. I want you to know that. I'm here to help you guys out. That's why I start all of my videos with, let's help each other. All right. Well, it looks like we're done. Well, God bless you all. It is good to see you. And I think we're going to end with that. Take care. God bless. Peace.